Hi everybody, you are listening to 31 Days of Horror, a series of blogs and podcasts where every day for 31 days from October the 1st till October the 31st, you will be taken on a ride through 31 film experiences, unlike the typical list of movies that you come to expect from the Halloween season. 31 Days of Horror is officially sponsored by Infernal Imagery. Visit infernalimagery.com throughout October 2018 and receive 20% off your purchases by using the offer code 31days. Today's tea of the day is Frog Brothers Vampire Hunter's Kit. That's offer code 31days for 20% off at infernalimagery.com.
31 Days of Horror. The conclusion.
This is the last one. I didn't want to end.
I know it seemed like halfway through I was thinking, what have I done? Why am I doing this? But now it's at the end, I'm kind of like, oh, I don't want it to end now.
It's Insidious.
Part 1.
Chapter 3. Oh, man. But have we got an episode for you guys? We're going to end this. Oh, hang on. Kids knocking on the door.
Oh, for God's sake.
Trick-or-treaters.
We expected this.
You just put my hair! Trick or treat! Trick or treat!
Yeah, sorry, no candy. No.
You with the red coat, you put the tickets to Venice down, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
Be careful with ponds.
Thank you. Just close the door behind you. Close it. Thank you. Right, okay, so for the 31st of October, it's Halloween night.
Yep.
You've come all the way from what were you gonna be doing tonight?
I was taking my children trick-or-treating.
But instead
I've come here to do this.
now you got them all dressed up.
I got them all dressed up. They're all really excited. They've got the buckets for the treats ready.
Yeah.
And then, like I did
that's
on
nice.
my 40th, I just didn't say anything. I just left, got in my car, and drove off, leaving them in the window crying again. I was like, trick or treat, bitches.
Oh my God, what have I done? What have I got? A lot to answer for this, and for the sake of 12 viewers, both of them are my mother.
Yeah. And the guy who makes t-shirts.
Sucker.
He sponsored this.
I got reverb. Suckers. So for the last film, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite films.
Don't Look Now.
Don't Look Now. I can't tell you how much I love this film. It was a 1973 film. Have we talked about this before?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
I don't think we did.
No, maybe
No.
not.
No, it's a Nicolas Roeg movie.
Yep.
And I love Nicolas Roeg movies. He really goes rogue with his movies.
Yeah.
Walkabout is one of my favorite Australian movies.
It's Rogue.
Yeah, he went rogue, and it stars Julie Christie.
It certainly does.
She's incredible. Dime a dozen.
Yeah.
Donald Sutherland. Donald Sutherland's hair.
Again. Making its second appearance on this podcast.
Second appearance by his hair.
Yeah.
If we ever do a podcast on Clute, his hair will be there too.
Yep. Weirdly enough, the music in Clute scares me. Yeah.
Really?
Anyway, carry on.
Curious. We're gonna have to do a podcast on that.
Yeah, I watched it. I watched Clute, and the way it was filmed made
Jane
me feel
Fonda,
very
wasn't it?
uneasy.
Jane Fonda in that one.
Yeah.
Ah, interesting.
Anyway, but sorry.
Hilary Mason is the wonderful psychic
Yeah,
medium
psychic. Yeah.
who likes to touch herself, and her colleague who helps her seeing eye person, I like to call her.
Yeah.
Celia Matania.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are the main people, of
Okay.
course. So a married couple are grieving over the recent death of their young daughter. They go to Venice, where they encounter two elderly sisters, one of whom is a psychic who brings a warning from beyond.
Yes.
So yeah, Don't Look Now. It's one of those films that they show you as students in filmmaking school, simply
Yeah,
because of the cutting and the editing and the
Yeah, I would be slightly honest. I was surprised to see it because it was like an alternative.
yeah.
And this really isn't an alternative horror film. It's like one of the horror films to see.
It is, but do you know what? Ask around. How many people do you know have seen it? Do you?
What now?
Yeah, not right now. But I mean, I don't know. I ask people if they've seen Don't Look Now, and they're like, "No, what's that? Don't know. What is
That's
it?"
amazing to me.
I don't know many people who've seen it. This is why it comes into the alternative, because I think people are wary of it. I don't think they want to see it. I don't think they've all seen it. So this generation especially, I don't think they've seen it.
Right.
I don't think this generation has seen Schindler's List and its influence with the red coat.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
So it's amazing what they haven't seen. So I wanted this to be at the very end of this list because this is a movie that I'm very passionate about.
Okay. Well, can I just pitch the film to the youth of today?
To the millennials.
Yeah.
Have you got it? Okay.
Hey, right, I'm just
Here we
going to
go.
pitch it. Right? Don't Look Now. There's a sex scene in it, which is fairly graphic, and it's still up in the air whether it was real or not. That'll make kids from today go watch it. Sex.
Yeah, it's quite funny because I have a twist on this.
Go on.
In the film, this is what I've written in the blog. If you want to go to medium.com and just read the review that I've done on this film, it's a little bit different to what Andy and I talk about. I really believe this. I think that the sex scene actually never happened.
Okay.
What was going on was that their marriage was falling apart. They were just getting dressed, and she was remembering what it used to be like to make love, and how much she loved, and he's just not there for her anymore. She was just remembering, and trying to be tender, but he was just not up for it. He was just not there for it anymore. He was not invested in that way anymore.
Right. Okay.
I think that was just purely from her perspective. And maybe it was a fantasy that she was having. You know, we're in Venice, the most romantic city, and we could be making love. And I think it's just from her imagination. That's my theory. I don't know if it holds up, but when I watched it again, I just thought, what if this is subverted? What if they never had sex, and this is just purely from her imagination, her mind?
See these matches of clothes.
No,
and
it's
is it directed? Is it heavily directed, or is it?
Oh,
just
incredibly.
purely-
No, heavily directed. Heavily directed. All the way through that, you were just alone in the room with Nick and Tony Richmond, two unblimped Aeroflexes, and Nick is saying, like that, and Nick is saying, all right, Donald, put your mouth on Julie's breast. All right, Julie, come. It's like that.
It's not just accidental cuts.
No.
It's not. It's
No,
very...
nothing of Nick is accidental. Nothing. It's all in his imagination, and he fuses it on the film. No, every position he told us to go into.
I love this movie. It's atmospheric. It's set in Venice in the winter. Of course, it couldn't be in the summer because tourists.
Yeah.
When I visit Venice, I look for all the signs. I look for all the bridges where things happened, and it really is it's a real place to me in this film. Venice, you can smell it, you can feel it, you can taste it. It's a great film.
It's an awesome film. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. But apart from the my idea of what the sex scene means, everything else is pretty much straight on. It's perfect. Even Donald Sutherland's hair.
Yeah, about as perfect as it ever gets.
It's as wild as it ever gets.
Yeah.
Anything wrong with this? But what are the things that you think people should be watching out for in this movie that might not be? You know, is there anything bad about this film?
No.
Is there any reason not to watch it?
God, no. It's not going to be a splatterfest. that the kids like these days.
Yeah, that's it. There's
And there's not really jump scares in it.
Well, there aren't any.
Yeah, but it's creepy. It's getting under your skin.
Yeah,
it's psychological.
It's under the skin. I mean, short of and it's
you feel the grief between them two.
Yeah, it's surreal.
Yeah.
I mean, the blind lady who is the psychic medium. There's a moment cutaway where they're just laughing, and we don't know what that means. It's never explained, and
But
it's
I love that.
great.
Yeah.
That's what I love about this film, is that it just throws things in there, makes you think, and doesn't spell it out. Nothing's really ever spelled out. I mean, why would there be a dwarf midget running around killing people in Venice?
Yeah, wearing a red coat.
Wearing a red coat.
Yeah.
Have I ruined it for you?
But it's the ambiguity that makes it great. It's the stuff that your mind, once the film's finished, then your brain switches on and you start to, what was that? What's that about? What's all that? What's this? And you start to make, with a film like this, it's so well constructed. It's different for everybody who watches it because you make your own mind up of what you think it is.
And it's different every time you watch it.
Yeah.
I can watch this every year without fail, and I will just, I'll be somewhere else in my life, and I will feel something else when I watch it.
Yeah.
The one thing that's constant though, it's Venice. I'm writing about Venice now.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
And I've got other stories about Venice that I want to just write because it's a beautiful place. It's a wonderful place, and they used it to the best of its that Venice is a character in this film.
Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
Can't beat it. You just can't beat it. Even Sex and the City 2.
Not even Sex City 2 can come close to this.
No.
And the part at the end, which is supposed to be the big fright,
Yeah.
it's not that scary. But what I find more unnerving is Donald Sutherland's reaction to it.
It's bizarre.
Yeah, and that really throws you off. Or it did to me when I watched it.
Yeah, he doesn't he doesn't just die. I don't know. It's almost as if something passes over to him.
Yeah,
it's weird.
That's the way
But then when you're being stabbed to death by a dwarf midget in a red mac, I'd have a few weird thoughts.
Yeah, like, why am I being stabbed by a dwarf in Venice?
Yes. Anthony Hopkins said it's like slipping into a warm bath. This doesn't feel like slipping.
Yeah, it feels like I'm dying, if anything.
It's like I'm dying.
But it's a fantastic film. It's the perfect film to put at the very end of
a very disagreeable list of 30 films.
That would be great.
No, it's
great
actually,
list.
It's a different list.
Yeah.
It's a list of films to be challenged by and to be different. We haven't talked about Poltergeist, Exorcist, Shining.
No.
All these films, Halloween. I can't think of any.
The Thing.
The Thing.
Oh.
All the films that everybody talks about all the time. I mean, if you go in those groups on Facebook, the only thing they ever talk about is Jason
and Freddy.
Who would win in a fight, Jason or Michael Myers?
Yeah.
It's Purge night. Would you purge?
Yeah. Would you purge?
Would you purge?
Oh my God.
I would purge.
I'd like totally kill someone.
Yeah.
As long as I didn't get blood all over my hands.
So
Horrific.
So before we wrap this up, there's a few films that I had in the list that I took out,
Okay.
which,
Just in case you haven't watched enough horror.
Repulsion. I took it out because it was too much like Darling.
Yeah.
The Exorcist 3 was in there. I actually ended up writing a whole piece on Exorcist 3, but I then read about the remake.
Yeah.
Not the remake, the what do you call it? The special edition.
Yeah, it was a Dominion.
No, that was actually the prequel.
Oh, that's the prequel.
But they have a special edition version of Exorcist 3 with all the missing scenes that were inserted. Right. But it was such a miasma, a jumble of
right.
information. I just thought, well, do I add it or not? And I thought, I just can't. It's just too much going on here. Right. So I cut that out.
See, that's a podcast all in itself.
Yeah,
Exorcist 3 and all. It's
The Perfect Getaway was another film with Steve Zahn. Ever heard of that one?
Yeah.
In Hawaii. It was good, but it wasn't horror. Yeah. I tried to, there's nothing horror about it. But I did come up with a really interesting theory that the main character was actually in collusion with the writer of the film.
Okay.
So I went a bit meta with that one.
Right, yeah.
But of course, we covered that in messages deleted.
Yes.
So yeah, so there's a few that I deleted, and unfortunately, there was the one that got away, hide and seek. But so, what's your favorite out of all of these? Out of all 31 films,
Right, I will say the best film on the list is Don't Look Now.
best film on the list. Don't Look Now.
It's probably the best well-made film. It's not my favourite on the list, though. You know what? I think I have to go back to number 1 with Starry Eyes.
Starry Eyes. It's incredible, isn't it?
It's such a great film.
Please don't make a sequel. Please don't make a sequel.
And Julia's Eyes is fantastic as well.
Julia's Eyes, yeah, and Darling.
Darling's fantastic.
Triangle, a big surprise.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it as my favourite.
I really enjoyed Profondo Rosso. There's a lot in that
Yeah.
I found. Out of all the Dario Argento movies, that one was much better than all of them put together, really.
Right now, I'm going to say Starry Eyes, but I think if you ask me next Halloween, it'll be something different. If you give me the same list and you ask me next Halloween, it'll probably be a different film. But how I'm feeling right now, Starry Eyes. In fact, I'm going to go home. I'm going to make the kids watch it tonight.
Yeah, as a present for missing Trick or Treat.
As a sort of, I'm sorry, but let's watch this.
And then we'll put the Serbian film on after.
Yeah, the uncut
Follow
version.
it. Yeah.
Just so they know what's coming to them. What's your favourite on the
Enjoyable.
list?
I gotta say that two of my favorite are Don't Look Now and Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah.
They're the most well known ones in the list as well. But I adore Starry Eyes, Darling, and Triangle was a big surprise. And Julia's Eyes, I think we've both got the same taste.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah.
Pretty much the same taste. But I think for nostalgia, Ghost Watch will always be a Halloween tradition.
Yeah.
It's not the best thing, but
it's not the best on the list by any stretch. If we're saying a Halloween tradition, then maybe that would probably trump it.
Yeah.
But if I'm just picking my favourite out of the list, how I'm feeling right now, hide and seek.
Get out.
No, Starry
Get out.
Eyes.
Do you know that
Starry
pond that
Eyes.
you warned about that girl, that little girl in the red Mac?
Yeah, grab that brick and jump in it.
Get in
That's
there.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Starry Eyes. Starry Eyes.
Starry. So next year, do you want to do a list?
I'll do the list next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do it. You better start working now because I started in January getting all this together. Literally get your list together before December.
I might do it exclusively out of folk horror. So you'll have to watch The Witch, Witchfinder General.
Wicker Man.
Wicker Man, obviously. Yeah.
Straw Dogs.
Straw Dogs. Blair Witch Project.
I can imagine the theme tune. You're gonna have to do a real.
It'd be like a
folk.
nursery rhyme, though, wouldn't it? Yeah. It'd have to be a nursery rhyme. Okay, I'm doing a list for next year.
You gonna do it?
Yeah, I'll do it, definitely.
Yeah, we'll do it.
I'm excited.
Yes.
I'm gonna start working on it now.
31 days, and we'll do the podcast. You don't have to do the blog. We can just do the podcast.
Yeah, but I probably want to do the blog as well.
Would you do the blog as well?
Probably.
Oh man, you're up for it.
Yeah, I love it.
Fantastic.
The thing is, with this, I was going to say to you, "Oh, let me write the blogs for some of them," but you'd already done it.
Well, I wasn't planning on bringing this to anybody. I wasn't even going to do a podcast.
Right.
I was just going to do the blogs and schedule them and then just drop them
Right.
in October and be like, oh, another blog, oh, another blog. But then I just thought, it would be so good to get together with Andy and do something, do a special podcast.
Yeah.
Do you have any shout outs for anything? Are you doing anything particular with your guitar?
I'm playing my guitar.
With who?
Yeah. Vinyl Groove is a new band that I'm starting. It's going to be like a function band. Go to www.vinylgrooveband.co.uk for all your funky and groovy
And you know what?
rhythms.
Andy can play any genre. Absolutely any. You name it, he's got it. I mean, he's
Yes.
got it under his belt. I mean, I've seen him transform from playing classic rock to ragtime, soul,
Yeah.
Motown. You know, it's fantastic. And so if you do need a musician at your function or event, you know where to go.
Absolutely, please. Yeah,
Check
just
out
get
Andy.
in touch. Yeah.
If you're in Alaska, I wouldn't bother.
If you're willing to pay the flights, then I'll be there. No problem.
So thanks a lot. This is a big shout out to Wade Snook and the Infernal Imagery t-shirts that have been our official sponsors for the whole 31 days. I hope you got yours. And that's it. We're done.
Yeah, it's been fantastic.
Next week, join us for Romantic Comedy Month.
Yes. Yes. And then 31 days of Christmas films.
All starring Bruce Willis.
Yeah. All those really rubbish ones, those Hallmark ones.
Oh, the Hallmark ones are great.
Yeah, the ones that start with a guy with no shirt on painting a boat on a beach.
So you never know what we'll be doing next. So stick around. And if you have any questions, just hit us up at the usual places, StephenRadford.com. You got the Twitter. You're on the Twitter.
I twit.
Yeah, you're Andy at Twitter, aren't you? Or just
I don't know what I am.
Andy Lewin or Guitar Concepts.
Guitar Concepts, and also Vinyl Groove.
Yeah,
is on there as well.
That's it, Vinyl Groove,
and Instagram and Facebook.
That's it.
But don't find me on Facebook.
No. He Facebook's just a dark hole.
Yeah. Too paranoid for Facebook.
Yeah. Let's move. So that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me to do this. This has been fantastic. Really enjoyed it.
It really has. And enjoy the films and don't worry about hide and seek. Thank you. That's all I have to say. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
31 Days of Horror is officially sponsored by Infernal Imagery. Visit infernalimagery.com throughout October 2018 and receive 20% off your purchases by using the offer code 31days. Today's tea of the day is
Frog Brothers Vampire Hunter's Kit.
That's offer code 31days for 20% off at infernalimagery.com.